Armie, paano ba pumunta sa UAE? Magkano ba ang nagastos mo papunta sa UAE?
Mahirap ba?
Paano mo nagawa?
Do you also have those questions in mind? And are you interested in working in the UAE? If so, let me share the ways I know for you to be able to travel to the UAE. Let's G. As most of you has requested and has been inboxing me about how I got to UAE, how much, and all those things, I'm going to answer them in this video. So, paano nga ba ako nakapunta sa UAE? So, disclaimer lang po, I don't work in a travel agency. And everything na sasabihin ko is based on my own experience. So far, I have been living in the UAE and working for almost 4 years. And I have already brought my brother here. I have brought my mother and father. So I am definitely familiar kung paano ba magpunta sa UAE. Magkano? I know 3 ways on how you can travel from the Philippines to the UAE. So first of all, visit visa with the relatives. It's actually you are applying for a visa because you are visiting someone in that country. So it's, luckily I have a relative in the UAE, my Tita Fe, who is already working at the time. So thanks to my Tita Fe that I'm here now. So, pero hindi nila alam you are actually gonna try to yun na, maghanap-hanap na ng work. So first, you're just gonna enter as a visitor lang, but unknowingly, you are going to find the job. And once you get the job, congratulations to you. And the immigration, actually, that is the parang kabapart ng mga Pilipinong nag-visit or tourist visa. Kasi it's quite strict. So what they do is, you just have to prove them na you are related. So I really brought my father's certificate and my tita's certificate that they are siblings and that I am my father's daughter. Really, they connected it talaga. So, medyo strict nga sila talaga sa immigration. So, iwas offload. If you are planning to go on a visit visa, make sure na dala mo lahat ng requirements. And now the question, what if I don't have a relative in the UAE and I want to work there? There is another way. So there are 2 other ways. Actually, one of the other way is through employment visa. So it means that from the Philippines, you are going to apply online. So you'll just have to look for legal agencies no, na accredited by POEA para sure tayo na it's not a scam. Kasi usually they ask for placement fee. Not all agencies, but some. So websites na I've heard na some of my friends, they were hired directly from the Philippines and they just looked up sa job state. If you are familiar with that, Google that, and teacher abroads for teachers. So also the advantage naman ng visa na ito is you already secured when you reach the UAE after passing the interview and everything and getting hired. Once you reach the UAE, congratulations. Now let's go to the third way of how they travel to the UAE. So they can come in also with tourist visa. So from the word itself, they will come as a tourist. And in the immigration, I believe you'll have to prove to them that you're going to tour. So you'll really have to know na they might ask you, so what places in mind do you have na you're gonna visit? You have to be prepared to ask that. You have to be able to prepare well and researched. No, kung saan ka mag-stay. Sometimes they would look up your back and forth ticket to make sure na hindi ka tatakbo once you reach UAE, Dubai. So, what they do, I know an agency, and again, I'm gonna put the link below. Ayan, some of the agencies, they just, alam mo yun, tutulungan ka nila. They will book for you a ticket going, and then parang they can book dummy hotel tickets or dummy airplane ticket, flight tickets. So if ever the immigration officer asks you, you'll have something to show them. Ayan. But the downside of this, it's quite expensive kasi you're gonna be touring. You're gonna come in as a tourist. So they will really check if you are financially prepared for that. And as well, it's quite risky sa immigration. So what do we do? An alternative to these na nagawa na rin ng most of my friends, ayan, is cross-country. So, if you don't have a relative here or meron kang kaibigan, but usually kasi if your friend is going to invite you at hindi kayo relatives, it's quite risky talaga. So, what they do is they opt for cross-country. Mas safer siya, pero there's still a risk to that. So, what about cross-country? So they go to an open country like Hong Kong, and then you're gonna tell them that you're gonna tour there. Siguro mga 2 days, 3 days, there are packages like that, right? Once you reach Hong Kong, they wouldn't know, hindi nila alam, there's another flight waiting for you from Hong Kong to the UAE. And it will be very easy kasi nga it's an open country and you don't need any kind of visas and all that. And again, for all this visa inquiries, I'm gonna put a link below sa a very trusted friend of mine, a legit, real travel advisor and professional. And you can always reach out to her. Just try and see and ask how much would it be to do this and that, what kind of visa you have in mind. I hope I made it clear to you guys. So again, there are 3 ways for you to be able to enter the UAE: through visit visa if you have a relative, tourist visa if you don't have a relative and you're gonna come in as a tourist, and another way is through employment visa if you're gonna be directly hired from the Philippines. Ayan. But another option I've given for people who don't have relatives is cross country. Ayan. So ayan, hope to see you here in the UAE, and comment down below if you have any more questions, and hopefully I can answer them on my next videos. Thank you guys.